Today we're talking our top 5 Christmas songs.
And a bunch of other Hahn-iday shenanigans. Stay tuned to find out.
Hello and welcome to Couple Chat.
Where we
Parents.
discuss topics for you.
Parents. I'm Matt.
I'm Jackie. Let's chat.
Well, let's get this party started.
Yeah, right in time for the Hahn-idays.
Yeah. Well, we had talked about last week doing like our favorite Christmas albums, maybe. Mm-hmm. And what? All right.
Forgot another song.
Oh, it's fine. We were like making our list like right before actually shooting the episode.
Yeah.
And it was like, I mean, I kind of knew, but at the same time, I was like, eh. And 5 may not seem like a lot, but we also don't want to be here all night talking about these songs. Like,
yeah.
So, and ultimately it's 10, 5 from each of us.
Right.
But, yeah, albums was, I think, too much.
Yeah.
There's not too many great full Christmas albums.
Yeah. There were only like 1 or 2 that really stood out for me, like as a whole.
Yeah. Because
those are things that for me was nostalgia. Like as a kid, that's what we would hear every Christmas.
Oh, sure.
Dad would pop in the CD.
Right.
Because he had a 5-disc CD changer, and that's the ones we would listen to. And
same. My parents did the same thing.
Yeah.
But I couldn't tell you like the names of them now. But
yeah.
I guess if we researched them and looked at the albums, I'd be like, oh yeah. Like I remember those, and your parents probably had them too, but those Christmas albums that were like
the greatest hits.
Yeah, but it was like the like weird like white outlined people, and it was like green or red depending on which volume it was. I forget what those are called, but those were like huge in the 90s.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if that's what my dad's are. I always know that they were like greatest hits or like greatest Christmas songs or something like that.
Yeah.
It wasn't like Now Christmas or anything.
No, that's not what this is.
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But
anyway, so we didn't do albums, we did songs,
Yes.
and let's get down to business. Anyway, ladies first.
so my number 5 pick is the song that I just remembered I really like in the middle of this intro.
So wait, you're changing it from your...
I'm changing my original list
Wow.
slightly just because I remembered this song.
All right.
So I am a big Josh Grobin fan. And my number 5 song is also, believe it or not, in Nate's favorite movie,
Whoa.
Believe, by Josh Grobin.
Right.
It's on his Noel album, which was his like first Christmas album back in the day.
I have no idea.
It's a beautiful album. He has an amazing voice. But Believe was the one song that like for me stuck out.
Okay.
And I really like that song. Always made me tear up and think about the holidays.
Yeah, it's a pretty good song. And now that like we've, had to listen to it 100,000 times because of Nate.
Right.
I mean, there are worse songs to hear over and over and over again.
Yes.
Maybe like Mariah Carey.
Or, like Blippi.
Well, sure, but I was talking
Just
Christmas
in life
songs.
in general. Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
So, keeping along the theme of movies, my number 5 is the song that was written for Christmas Vacation. I really like that song. I think it's really funny and, paired with the intro of the movie that is this silly animated cartoon of Santa trying to get into their house.
Yeah.
It's a fun song. And, it's very 80s, 90s feel to it. But it's very nostalgic to me. Whenever I hear it or I decide to play it, it just, gives me a heartwarming feeling and memories of watching that movie with my family, and especially like my dad is just a huge National Lampoon's fan, and we'd watch all those vacation movies, and Christmas Vacation along with the song is one of my favorite Christmas movies, so
Sure.
it would make sense that this is one of my favorite songs. So
Yeah.
I like that song a lot.
Nice. So my number 4 pick is Cozy Little Christmas Here With You.
Wow, that's pretty funny.
Why?
That's also my number 4 pick.
No way. By Katy Perry. Perry. I mean pretty. I mean what?
Katy, amazing.
Yeah.
Love that.
I love that song. And I love the music video that went with it because it was her announcement of being pregnant. And it was just, I don't know. When was it released? Like, it was released like 5 years ago, 4 years ago, something like that.
No, it was before the pandemic. I want
I
to say
think it was right
like,
at the beginning.
No. Gonna go with like 2018.
All I remember doing is watching it on the projector and loving it. And just like, it's very upbeat and just like, yeah, like you can really rock to it. Like, you don't have to necessarily know any of the words just to be able to like bop around and just get a little pep in your step. And
right.
It really brings out the season for me anyway.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just love Katy Perry, and I think she's a phenomenal singer.
Yes.
And she's, you know, I could listen to her all day. So this song, I just feel is very her, but also it's catchy and it's fun. And like, you don't get that a lot with like Christmas songs where, I don't know, Christmas songs are always very, you know, mellow and have like this like, I don't want to say somberness to it, but you know, they're warm and comforting, and like that's how they mostly feel. This one's upbeat and fun, and just, you know, it feels like Katy Perry, and it's a song that you want to sit and like bop to in the car while you're driving to Christmas Eve dinner or something like that, you know,
or going Christmas shopping.
Yeah, exactly.
It's definitely a feel good Christmas song.
Yeah,
for sure.
Cool. So might as well shoot it right back to you for number 3 since we shared number 4.
My number 3 is Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays by NSYNC.
Yay.
No. Merry Christmas,
Aren't they?
Happy Holidays. Like, it was just one of my favorite. Talk about a bopping Christmas song.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I literally choreographed dances to this song. I loved. But since I was like 12, I've been listening to this song during Christmas. It's just one of those mainstays for me, and it always made me feel very happy and I don't know. I love hearing my favorite boy band every Christmas. It really brings back all that nostalgia and that memories.
Sure. And
being able to share it with our kids soon would be really nice.
I mean, I think they've heard it because we played it in the car.
I mean, like the older they get.
Well,
they'll learn the lyrics and we'll be singing it together and blasting it in your ear.
We'll see.
I hope.
I mean, I don't dislike it. It just, you know, it's like, I mean, I know all the good NSYNC songs. I sing with you. You know, we bye together.
Bye. Yes, we do.
So my number 3 pick is specifically the she and him version of Baby It's Cold Outside.
Yes.
So this is such an interesting, cool version because so she and him is Zooey Deschanel and I don't know the guy's name off the top of my head, but the two of them are a duet, and she's a phenomenal singer. I love her so much.
Yeah.
But they're, you know, very indie, folk kind of feel, and they made this version of Baby It's Cold Outside. They have a fantastic Christmas album, by the way.
M. Ward.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever that is.
That guy. I mean, he's great. He's got an interesting voice whenever he does sing. And I mean, he's a fantastic guitarist, I guess. I think he plays the piano too, probably some other instruments, because I don't think she plays anything. But anyway, so they turn Baby It's Cold Outside on its head, and she is telling him to stay. And it's hilarious. Like, if you know Zooey Deschanel, you've ever seen New Girl, or, you know, her and Elf, she's hilarious. And this song is just perfect her.
Oh, yeah.
It just feels like that's how she would be.
Yeah.
So it's really funny. If you've never heard her version, go check it out. It's really great. And then listen to She and Him, just everything. You'll enjoy it so much.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
They remind me of the kind of duo that you would see at like a poetry slam, but the place is packed because they know how good they are.
Yeah.
Like that's what they remind me of.
They're like the top of that genre, basically. Yeah.
And I mean, they do tour. They usually do a Christmas tour.
I know.
And we always miss it because they're just outside of our reach, or like for some reason we just miss it.
Right.
Schedule. I mean, December's crazy busy. We've done a lot this month, and I feel like we've had no time to breathe, let alone
I mean,
do anything.
This month alone, we like premiered our film, Generation Hack, which for me has been taking up so much of my time that I would usually spend hanging out with you or working on Christmas stuff, like shopping and decorating and all this stuff. Like we decorated, and I'm glad we did it as early as we did. But we usually dedicate a little more time to like figuring some of this stuff out.
Yeah.
And I just feel like I've been like so out of it because of this film premiering. Like it just premiered last week on December 11th.
Yeah.
And now that it's over, like I was so excited for it, but it was also nerve-wracking and made me very anxious. And but now that it's over, I feel like this weight lifted and I can actually focus and enjoy the holidays.
Yeah.
Because, we have our time back at night and, like just for a little while anyway, until the new year. I have lots of plans for it, and then, we got holiday stuff going on and it's all falling into place. We're here tonight a little late because we went to Storybook Land today. So
yeah, they did their festival or their Christmas lights.
Yeah.
Event.
Is it called Holiday in the Park or is that Six Flags?
That's Six Flags.
Okay.
This is something
or
like
Disney.
Christmas
even.
lights, something Christmas lights.
Okay.
I forget.
It's
on
so
the bucket.
Great.
It's so cool because like they open the park at 2 p.m. and you have rain of the park until 5 o'clock. But
rain.
Oh, it didn't. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
We were very lucky.
Yep.
The forecast called for rain, and last year it rained on us the entire time.
Yep.
And which was good because there was no lines.
Oh yeah.
But which was bad because Emma was in the stroller and couldn't ride anything. So not only was she soaking wet, there was no way for her to get warm because she wasn't allowed on anything.
Yeah. This year was much better with that.
Yeah, she was allowed on a lot more this time around.
Yeah, and she had a blast.
Yeah.
So did Nate.
Yeah. But it's just, they do a great job. Santa comes out. He explains to the kids, like, hey, you got to be good for your teachers, your family. Like, do your chores. Be nice.
Nate was on my shoulders, and I heard him going, yeah. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he was so hyped.
Yeah.
Santa hyped him up, man.
Yeah, he did.
And then Santa was like, all right, now I'm going to spread some Christmas magic. Can you all help me? Like, count to 3.
I feel like he doesn't say the word spread, but Jackie really loves to say that he spreads Christmas magic.
Well, he used Christmas magic to make the lights come on. I don't know what he says. It's his mic kept popping in and out, so it was really hard to hear. Anyway,
the word spread I don't know. Maybe I'm just
the
mind in the gutter.
Yes,
and just
correct.
That word is spread exactly makes me giggle.
Oh God, moist.
Casey, don't watch this episode if you do.
Melanie either.
She doesn't like that word.
Neither does Rachel.
Fan base not gonna watch the episode.
Shucks.
All right. Anyway.
But he brings out the wand and he counts to 3.
Right.
And then I had a video of me and Emma, and Matt was doing his video, and her eyes lit up. You just saw her just be like, and she's looking around at all these lights. And that was such a cool moment because last year she was stuck in the stroller, again, soaking wet. And this year she actually was like so into it.
Yeah.
And it was so cool to be able to see that.
No, she really did have a great time too.
Yeah.
Everything we went on, she's almost 3 now. Mm-hmm. So she's very alert. She speaks like no tomorrow, like just everything. It was great. I loved seeing her being able to come out of her shell and,
beyond things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was cool.
It was cool.
But yeah, so anyhow, Christmas is now in full swing, and that's all we're worried about, and that's why we're here talking about songs.
My number 2 song of my top 5 list is Where Are You Christmas, the Taylor Mumson version.
Right.
Not the Faith Hill version, because it's just not the same. It is the Taylor Mumson version. This is the version of the little girl singing it from The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, Jim Carrey edition. That is gut-wrenching for me, because it's kind of like Red Shoes, which if you've heard the Red Shoes song, like, that's pretty up there for me too. But this song is like your inner child being like, what happened to Christmas? Why does Christmas not feel the same anymore? And it's being sung by a child in the film, but for me, it was so much more than that. And it still is to this day. I think that's also part of why I hold that movie so high up in my Christmas movie viewing, because that, to me, is like the closest I feel like I can get to how I remember Christmas as being. Feeling that way, and like, yeah, what was it like? I can't even remember what it was like to believe in Santa anymore and all these other things.
Yeah.
So, and it's not about Santa. It's not about the presents. They explain in the movie. It's about the people you're with.
Oh, yeah.
And the people you surround yourself by, and just being together.
Of course.
And that's really why I love that song, and it's my number 2.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, my number 2 again falls in line with the movie theme that we've got going on here.
Obviously.
It's Somewhere in My Memory from Home Alone.
Oh, okay.
You know, right along the lines with the whole nostalgia thing. That song just evokes so much of my childhood. And every time I hear it, I just... See, that's more of that, like, melancholy, somber feeling type of song. Very similar. Like, yours is a question. Where are you, Christmas?
It's
Somewhere in my memory.
There you go.
Diddly-doo-doo. Anyway. Yeah, so I just think that's funny, the correlation between those.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Home Alone is just a staple in most American Christmas households during the holidays. As you get older and you watch these movies or you hear these songs that you've loved your whole life,
Right.
you start to think of it differently.
Absolutely.
You know? I mean, I watched Fairly Odd Parents with Nate like every Saturday. I try to make that a thing because that's what I did. And he loves the show. And it's just like, that show is so different when you're an adult. And it's just like any of these other things, you know? Home Alone is so different as an adult. You feel the pain of Kevin's mother. You feel like, yeah, Kevin was being kind of a little D-bag.
But they weren't seeing the whole story. They were just seeing the end result. It's just like when kids get in trouble at school. Like, okay,
Right.
Nate did this thing and he got caught. Okay, well, what was happening to Nate before that? We don't really know the whole story.
Yeah.
And did that kid get in trouble too? Or was that kid actually hurting him and he defended himself and he was seen like...
Right.
Because Kevin was being picked on.
Yeah.
Kevin was being pushed around and treated like crap. And then everyone gangs up on him.
Yeah.
And I could see why he wouldn't want his family around.
Right.
I could see why he wouldn't want to travel with his family for Christmas when they're all treating him so badly that they shove him in an attic.
Right.
Like, okay. Like, that's kind of messed up. But, yeah, I totally get that. I totally see what you're saying. So speaking of like lots of events we've been doing this month, we had my cousin's Christmas party.
Okay.
Where it was just the cousins and the significant others. You had the premiere for Gen Hack. You also had the closing reception for Gen Hack.
Yes.
And while you were there, I went to my cousin's senior year winter showcase.
Right.
And dude, she was born my senior year of high school. So for it to be her senior year is just like, this is too much. I can't.
Yeah.
I'm literally sitting there and the first song happens and I'm bawling my eyes out. Like, what is wrong with me? I'm so emotional. I'm a wreck. It's great. Great. So they they do like a musical review in the beginning where it's about an operetta, and they run through the whole story in like a shortened version, of course, because they're not going to do a whole 3-hour operetta.
What did they do?
The Gondoliers.
Yeah, that.
Yep, that was the thing.
You didn't know it either. Okay.
Nope, I did not. Right. And my cousin was in like the first part.
Yeah.
Where like she was one of the girls that was like caught by the gondoliers.
Oh, the gondoliers.
No, the gondoliers are men.
Oh.
And there were 24 women and 2 men. Okay. And they had to pick a woman to marry. They each had to pick a woman to marry, and my cousin was one of the women that they like caught and married.
Caught?
Yeah, they literally blindfold them and they run around trying to catch, and whoever catches one of the 24 women, they marry who they catch.
What?
That's the premise of this. And then they find out that they could be a king because the king sent the son away, and then he was adopted by a family, but the guy mixed up the babies and doesn't remember who.
What?
It's a very weird show. Anyway,
have to do with Christmas?
It doesn't have anything to do with Christmas, but this is what the Winter Showcase does. Okay,
all right.
Don't ask me. I'm not in charge.
I get it.
It happens every year.
Every year.
So anyway, that's the first act. No, that's so there's like a choral showcase, like let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. And there's like 10 songs in that.
Jeez.
With like their volunteer choral group.
Okay.
Then there's the Gondoliers, which is the operetta. And then there's their winter showcase, where they each have like a song.
Play with string puppets?
No.
Or is it a
Matt's
really
making
bad
fun of my
piano?
hands because I'm
ding-a-ding-a-ding-ding.
making claws and dancing them around. Anyway.
Why?
I don't know. But the second act is like Christmas carols, but like popular Christmas carols. Like there's Kids on Christmas, or I Want to Be a Kid on Christmas, or random pop Christmas songs.
Okay.
Leading up to my number one Christmas song made me sob when it was sang at this event, because it is My Grown-Up Christmas Wish by Kelly Clarkson. The song starts and I'm bawling my eyes out, right? And it's a duet. It's the senior class.
Okay.
So it's a duet. And then you have my cousin come out on stage with her classmates, and they're all like hugging goodbye. And then the girls start crying, and they're hugging. And like, I'm literally sobbing the whole song. The song ends and I'm sobbing in my sweater in a silent theater after everyone's clapped and the lights went down. It's just like, it's so weird to me that she's a grown-up now. She's a freaking grown-up now. Wow. She's going to be 18 in 3 months.
That doesn't make anyone a grown-up.
No, but
especially her.
But like, I've seen it. I've seen her through it all.
No, I know.
Like our kids aren't even close to that age yet, but like, it went so fast.
Yeah.
For my cousin's life in my eyes, that like, holy cow, like she is going to make a grown-up Christmas wish soon. Like she is getting to that point where she's going to be on her own and college and all this other stuff and live her life. And it's just like, oh, I'm sitting here and I love this song, and then to have it like that, it's now got a whole new meaning for me, because it's not about when you make this wish. It's about how you get to making that wish. Because I went from loving a song that's sung by a child to loving a song about being an adult during Christmas time. Because it's not really necessarily about, oh, do I believe in Santa? No, it's about, they both are about what is Christmas about? Yeah. Why do we do this to ourselves? What is the point? And if my wish could come true, can it be the good things? Can it be peace? Can it be no more war? Can it be people getting along for once? Can it just be joy for real? Not just like joy to the world. No, like it's just something's got to give. And these songs are really what, for me, Christmas has been lacking. And I want to get that feeling back. And these two songs are where I'm at.
I hear you.
And having kids helps. Because, oh my God, they believe so hard. It's so weird.
Yeah.
And we don't even like push it on them because we're not really sure on what we want them to think or know or believe or not.
Yeah, it's more difficult than I thought it was going to be. You know, we were both like hard on, no, we're not going to do the Santa thing. It's so silly, and we don't want to lie to them. Right. Before we had kids, we thought this. And I know my sister, you know, she went that route, and I don't know how she did it. I don't know if she did completely. Maybe she just beat around the bush or didn't really like give too much information or wouldn't say like, and you know, we kind of do that, but at the same time, it's really hard because you see this magic in their eyes and they love it. But at the same time, it's like one of those things where it's like, but how far do we want to go with it? You know, like, I don't know. It's just a really difficult thing.
Like Nate's been bringing up the fact that like, we don't have a chimney. How's Santa going to get down our chimney? And it's like, At one point I said he's not, but like, how do you dash his dreams like that? Because like Polar Express, he plays it nonstop, right?
Yeah.
He's watching what he's learning in Polar Express and how the little boy believes now.
Right.
And mom and dad don't believe in the movie or...
Right. So I feel like even if like we said like, oh, Nate, blah, 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 he'd be like, yeah, all right, whatever. I know the truth.
Mm-hmm.
You know
what I mean?
It kind of is like, and I think that movie does help with that. And now I have a greater appreciation for it now that you said this, but like, it kind of helps with that, like taking the burden off the parents a little bit, because that movie almost makes it feel real to the point where like to a kid, it's like, now it's like this like, all kids club kind of thing. Like your parents may say he doesn't exist. Your parents may not believe he's real, but you guys know the truth.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think that's an interesting way to look at it.
It's like being in this exclusive club.
Right.
That like no one else knows the secret password to or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think that's definitely been a difficult thing for us this year in particular.
Yeah.
Because he's like, well, how does he get down our chimney? We don't have a chimney. Does he come out of the electric fireplace? And it's like, no.
Yeah.
And he's like, does he come in the front
Fluid
door?
Network.
Oh, right. Jeez, that'd be cool.
But that's also fireplaces. So
magic. It's magic.
But they still come out of fireplaces.
Yes, I'm aware.
Yeah. Anyway, so my final song, my number one song, and it will always be forever, is, yeah, I know, you know, is Happy Xmas, War is Over by John Lennon and technically Yoko Ono. But, you know, that there's so much that I love about this song, and it's obviously the fact that John Lennon is one of my all-time favorite musicians, and I have this, like, pain within me that I was born in the wrong time because he's a musician. I feel like I would have gone to lengths to see perform live and, you know, like follow him and whatever. I believe in so much of like who he was at that time. And this song is just so strange because he talks about this happy time after, you know, I want to say Vietnam War, and they're celebrating war being over, and like we should, you know, all be happy, kind of like what you were just saying about this Kelly Clarkson song that is like, 30 years later, right?
Yeah.
And it's crazy because all he wanted to see was peace in the world at that time. And then he goes and gets shot and murdered, you know? It's like, it's so strange because it didn't happen long after that song was released.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, it's a sad thing when you think about the context of it. And it's a wonderful song, and I'm glad that it's lived on for so long. Like he doesn't have a lot of music that he did on his own, but I think it's very interesting that his Christmas song is probably one of his most well-known works.
Right.
Like Imagine, sure, but this song is played everywhere, millions of times throughout homes and radio stations and just all the time during Christmas.
Yeah.
And it's a song that everyone loves. It's not just, fans of the Beatles or fans of John Lennon. Everybody loves this song.
Yeah.
And it means so much to so many people. And yeah, sure, these days maybe people don't think of it in the context of like what he's talking about or what it's about.
Right.
But like sometimes you have to sit down and really listen to the things that you have taken for granted.
Oh, yeah.
And this song is kind of like that. When I listen to it by myself and I actually hear the lyrics for what it is, it's just one of those songs that it's like, man, this was a happy moment before the end of his life, that like he wanted to express joy to the world because he knew he had that power.
Right.
Like John Lennon had so much power as a musician.
Yeah.
And that song's just so powerful. You don't get that a lot in Christmas songs. Like they're powerful in a different way.
Right.
Like we said, like childhood and like evoking nostalgia and things of that nature. But this song's powerful in a way that like could bring a world together.
Right.
Like in 100 years, this song could still be played and possibly mean something and be an anthem to future generations that finally found a way to have peace.
Right.
If that's even possible,
And that's the craziest part. Like I said, there's so many Christmas songs talking about peace and joy and love. Right. And no matter if it's Christmas time or middle of summer or whatever, it's so momentary, if at all.
Yeah.
And that's like, can we just carry that sentiment throughout the year? Can we just
right.
have that all the time? Like, have that mentality, like, let's just be chill. Like, let's just relax.
Yeah.
Let's stop being aggressive toward others. And especially if we don't even know who they are, just because of the color of their skin or their gender or their sexual orientation. Like, I don't understand why people can have so much hatred and not like just turn it off. Turn the hatred off. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
And I'm hopeful that our children won't have to deal with that and that they can actually like be ambassadors for peace and joy and love and like that kind of stuff. But I don't know. It's just like you were telling me about this video game that was launched and like all the hatred over this main character we had known nothing about yet. We don't even know what's going on yet. We haven't even played the game, and people are in uproar because of her color, the color of her skin, like, and so much other stuff that like people are not even. I didn't see any of that. I didn't hear any of that, and I
didn't think any of that.
I never would have.
And the game that she's referring to, if you guys haven't seen it, big announcement by Naughty Dog at the Video Game Awards, is their first sci-fi epic video game, Intergalactic, the Heretic Project. And yeah, I mean, none of that ever crossed my mind. I mean, I made a film where, sci-fi, cyberpunk, generation hack, where the lead is a short, black, gay woman. But that's none of that was the reason why I hired her for that part. I hired her because she's amazing.
Right.
And like, none of that is what matters. Like, just tell your story.
Yeah. And
I just hate that people like get hung up on that stuff. Like, just tell your story and just make it a good one.
But if you're not interested in it, just turn away. Keep scrolling.
Sure.
Look away.
But more people,
like the hatred that you're posting, there's more hate posts about it than there is good. And I don't get that.
And that's why I felt I had to say something too. Like if you guys were on my socials, like I don't usually say anything about stuff like this, but because I'm making this movie and I'm trying to say something with it about this kind of thing, this game just felt like it fit right in line with that. And the fact that people are hating on it so much was really disheartening because I didn't see any of that when I watched the trailer and like didn't think any of that, didn't even care about any of that. No. I just thought the game looked phenomenal and I'm excited to see more and you know, eventually play it. Yeah. Like Naughty Dog always makes incredible games and this one looks amazing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's we live in a strange world and you know, we don't want to get too deep into this, but just, you know, everybody has something to say. Everybody has a story. Yeah. Everybody can be a hero. It doesn't really matter where you come from or who you are. We just, you know, we all just deserve love and happiness and, you know, to be part of this world. I don't know why this turned into Little Mermaid, but now it is.
Well, I was going to say, like, when you were in school, there was this rule. I don't know if y'all heard about it, but the golden rule. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Right.
And it's not that, if someone's physically harming you, don't say stop. That's not what that means. If you have nothing nice to say about this beautiful 2-minute trailer that was put out there for the world to see, you don't have to comment it.
Right.
You don't have to rant about it.
Or if you want to, go and do that in the privacy of your own home.
Or in the forums. There are people who do that anonymously. Fine. Yeah. But like, I don't. Why waste your energy? Why raise your blood pressure? Right. If you don't like it, move on.
Yeah.
I don't get it. But
I don't know. But either way,
in the spirit of Christmas, let's be joyful and peaceful and not have any problems.
Let it go.
We need to let it go.
Sorry, Megan Trainor, you did not make it onto our list. I did listen to your album, but you know,
they're not up there for me yet.
No, not yet.
I feel like I need to listen to them longer.
Christmas songs have to simmer.
Yes.
Simmer or
they have to
something
simmer.
like that. Yeah.
Well, if you say fester, it sounds like an
no.
open
I don't want to fester.
I want it to like really just like grow for me.
Yeah. Like I'm sure Cozy Little Christmas wouldn't have been on here a few years ago, you know?
And I mean, it was one of those songs that like repeats. Like you hear it in every department store, but now it's okay.
Right.
Then it was like, okay, we get it.
Yeah.
But it was a hit and that's why. But anyway.
So anyway, sadly.
Not sadly. Excitingly.
This will be our final episode this year, 2024. We are deciding to just take a break for the holidays. As we said, we've just been very, very busy and we wanted to have this time to focus on our family. And we're given this awesome opportunity to both be off for that holiday week between Christmas and New Year's. So we're going to take that time to really relax and readjust and figure out what we want to do come 2025 when it comes to Here Are the Hahns. And if you guys follow us on Hahn Films, just all that kind of stuff creatively, where we're going to go as the Hahns continue ons.
I can't. You are too much.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, this is the end of season 1.
Yeah, we'll call it the end of season 1. It was a very long season because we started it, in October of 2023, really. But we didn't feel comfortable like ending, or at least I didn't because I'm a weirdo like this, but I didn't feel comfortable ending this in like a weird spot. I wanted to just, let's call it end of the year, end of an official full year. So season 1 will be a little longer than any future seasons, but season 2 may mean slight adjustments, maybe some new things, maybe some new ways we do stuff. Who knows?
Yeah.
But, we've kept this model and this setup for a little while. So maybe we'll change it up. Maybe we won't. Who knows? Who knows?
We shall see.
We shall. But until then, Merry Christmas.
Happy Hahn-idays.
Happy Hanukkah. 'Cause that's happening, on the 24th? Starts then, right?
Yeah. Happy Kwanzaa.
Yes.
Happy whatever holiday you celebrate.
For shizzle.
Because it should be celebrated, no matter where or who or what it is.
Correct. I'm Matt.
I'm Jackie.
Here are the Hahns signing out.
Thank you so much for listening to Couple Chat. Make sure to subscribe to us on Spotify or YouTube Music. You can even subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can see this episode in video. Thank you to Hahn Films for editing and producing this episode. Let's chat soon.